We begin tonight at 10 with breaking news. Jackson County Executive Frank White Jr. has been ousted by the voters. The special recall election comes as frustration has been building for years now over ballooning property assessments and negotiations to keep the Chiefs and Royals in the county. And it showed at the polls. The unofficial results show that 85% of voters voted to oust Frank White from the office, with just 15% voting to have him finish out his term.
What is it like to hear that number, you know?
Amazing. It's fabulous. It's long, hard work paid off.
We are bringing you live team coverage tonight. You'll hear from community members who push for the recall as we have reaction from county leaders. We begin with KSHB 41 political reporter Charlie Keegan, who is live in Independence, where people are celebrating the results. Charlie.
Yeah, so all smiles and cheers at this watch party. Kevin, you can see by the sign here behind me, this is a group of people who support the recall of Frank White. A lot of people who are gathered here actually collected signatures to force this recall election. At its height, there were probably 50 people here inside Saints Pub in Independence. They were all clapping and cheering as the results came in throughout the night. They were all kind of wearing those recall Frank White t-shirts. They told me they expected to come out on top this time, but even they were surprised by how lopsided these results were. And I asked them, what does that mean, or what kind of message does that send to Frank White?
Not just to Frank White, but to government is the government works for the people. We do not work for them.
Although I think it's a reflection of really the fact that there's so many people out there that were so frustrated, and they finally got their opportunity to have their voice be heard.
There's going to be a lot of conversation now about who replaces Frank White. Well, two names that have kind of shown up in the running were actually here at the watch party tonight. Dan Tarwater, a former county legislator, and Phil Lavoda, an attorney here in town. I had a chance to speak with Lavoda and ask him what being county executive would entail after Frank White.
They need someone that will step in there day one and fix this debacle. It's not going to be a fun job to do. You're going to inherit a bunch of problems.
And the number one problem people told me as why they supported the recall of Frank White came down to property assessments. Kevin, so many people back in 2023 and 2025 saw their property values rise and their tax bills rise as a result, and that is what led to this recall. Back to you.
You know, Charlie, still so much to unpack here. I know you've been following this recall for months. How will the county move forward now that Frank White is out?
Well, so he's not quite out just yet, Kevin. The county charter says he has his job until the election boards certify the results of this election. Both Kansas City and Jackson County election boards told me they plan to do that next week. So Frank White will be hanging around for a while, and he's also looking to keeping this job more long-term. Today, he filed a brief with the state Supreme Court, asking the Supreme Court to prevent those election boards from certifying the results because he thinks this whole election was unlawful. So there's still a lot to follow even after tonight, Kevin.